On Tuesday, the blood drive came to town and was held down at the Keller Building. There were 23 that showed up to give blood. 2 new people gave blood out of 23 people that were there. There were 21 units of blood donated, which helps out 63 people. During the school year, there are 3 blood drives held. Nurse Sherry has been helping out the blood drive for 12 years.
On Monday, December 27th, the Brashear Tigers hit the road for a pair of non-conference basketball games at the NCMC Holiday Shootout in Trenton. Lady Tigers faced Stet for their game. Both teams put a lot of defensive pressure on the ball, but Brashear handled the pressure well and jumped out to a 12-3 lead after one quarter. Stet had a better second quarter offensively, but Brashear still managed to extend their lead to 24-11 by halftime. It was all Brashear in the second half as their lead ballooned to 40-15 after 3 quarters, and the Lady Tigers went on to win by a margin of 50-18. Meredith Thomas led a balanced Brashear attack with 12 points. Abby McKim had 10, Shelby Salter and Sydney Slavin had 8 each, Stephanie Elsie and Olivia Thompson had 4 each, Katie Smith and Ashley Moncrief scored 2 points each.
The Brashear boys faced Grundy County R5 in their game. Neither team shot well starting off, as Grundy missed layup after layup and only managed 1 bucket in the first quarter. Brashear also struggled, leading only 7-2 6 minutes into the first quarter. As the starters started to get their first breathers, Brashear found their rhythm and extended their lead to 15-4 by the end of the first quarter. Both teams continued to struggle offensively as Grundy managed only 3 buckets in the second quarter, and the Brashear starting squad went into halftime shooting 6 for 29 from the field, but holding a 25-12 lead. Brashear shot better in the second half, getting 15 of their 21 bench points after the intermission, while Grundy still struggled to hit their shots. Brashear extended their lead to 38-22 after 3 quarters and won by a margin of 56-35. For Brashear, Nick Thomas had 12 points, Cody Snelling added 11, Hayden Hausman had 9, Adam Songer scored 7, Taryn Treasure and Joseph Wood had 6 each, Joe Clarkson had 3, and Jay Scudder scored 2 points.
On Tuesday night, the Brashear girls put the pressure on early and ran up a 12-2 lead after first quarter and led 20-3 at halftime. Atlanta played a stronger second half, but Brashear continued to outscore the Lady Hornets. Brashear led 30-10 after the third quarter and cruised to the 46-21 win. Brashear, Stephanie Elsie, and Meredith Thomas scored 11 points each. Shelby Salter added 9, Abby McKim had 6, Katie Smith had 4, Miranda Creason and Ashley Moncrief scored 2 each, and Sydney Slavin scored 1 point.
The boys' game was highly contested in the early going, with Atlanta holding a 15-12 lead after 1 quarter. The game stayed close until a scoring flurry in the last minutes of the second quarter allowed Atlanta to extend their lead to 40-27. In the second half, Brashear trailed by as few as 7 in the third quarter, but couldn't close any further and trailed 62-45 after 3 quarters. Brashear closed to within 8 at the 2-minute mark of the fourth, but again could not get any closer and fell to Atlanta 80-66. Adam Saunders scored 19 points for Brashear. Hayden Hausman had 12, Cody Snelling had 11, Aaron Treasure had 8, Jay Scudder scored 7, Dylan Redding had 6, Zach Reeves had 2, and Nick Thomas scored 1 point.
On Friday, our governor, Jay Nixon, visited our school to congratulate us on achieving the state's A-plus schools designation. Our school was one of 37 schools that has earned the designation in May 2010. Since 1997, almost 125,000 Missouri students have qualified for the A-plus scholarship. Governor Nixon discussed the importance of expanding this successful program to help more Missouri families afford a college education. The A-plus program provides 2 years of tuition and fees at any public community college or technical school in the state. The governor says that more Missouri students should benefit from scholarships. While the governor was here, he took a tour of our school and went into Mr. Copeland's Polycom class and Mr. McHenry's class too. He also held a press conference which grades 7th through 12th attended.
On Tuesday, January 11th and Wednesday the 12th, most of the schools around us were canceled for a snow day. Even though we got 2 days, we still had to make it up. Snow makeup days will be March 9th and April 20th.
The Brashear girls kicked off a quick start last Friday night, running up a 15-10 lead after 1 quarter of play. Both teams had come out pressuring hard from the beginning of the game, and Schuyler started to get the upper hand in the second quarter, taking a 33-30 lead up to the halftime break. During the third quarter, Schuyler started to slowly expand their lead to a 48-38 at the end of the third quarter and won by a final score of 66-53. Meredith Thomas and Stephanie Elsie were both in double figures for Brashear with 20 points and 13 points. Shelby Salter and Abby McKim had 6 each, Sydney Slavin had 5, and Katie Smith scored 3 points.
The Brashear boys also took the early lead of 12-10 after the first quarter and turned up the heat to take a 30-23 halftime lead. Schuyler County made some defensive adjustments and pressured Brashear into numerous turnovers in the third quarter. The Rams converted the turnovers into fast break points and outscored Brashear 21-4 to take a 44-34 lead after 3 quarters of play. Brashear adjusted in the fourth but couldn't close the gap, and Schuyler County took the game 58-47. Nick Thomas scored 14 points for Brashear. Jay Scudder added 8. Hayden Hausman had 6. Taryn Treasure and Joe Clarkson had 5 each. Adam Songer scored 4. Cody Snelling had 3. And Zach Reeves scored 2 points.
On Friday, the Math and Science Club went to Keokuk for the annual Eagle Day. In the live bird show, there were many different eagles and vultures from different parts of the world. The live bird show was provided by the World Bird Sanctuary out of St. Louis. After the show, they went to the Canton Dam to look at more eagles.
Last Friday night, the Lady Tigers played Brevier for Brevier's homecoming game. The Lady Tigers took a 9-7 lead after 1 quarter and extended it to a 27-19 going into the locker room. The Wildcats came out in the third quarter to outscore the Lady Tigers 13-11, closed the gap to 38-32 at the end of the third quarter. The Lady Tigers won a nail-biting game with a score of 44-43. For Brashear, Stephanie Elsie and Abby McKim were in double figures with 11 and 10 points. Shelby Salter added 8, Meredith Thomas had 7, Katie Smith had 4, Miranda Creason and Sydney Slavin had 2 points each.
In the boys' game, Brevier started out 4-4 midway through the first quarter. In the second quarter, Brevier led 12-10. Through the third quarter, they retained the lead 39-38, and Brashear won with a score of 65-55. For Brashear, Adam Songer had 21 points, Cody Snelling had 20, Hayden Hausman scored 12, Jay Scudder had 5 points, Nick Thomas added 4, Joseph Woods and Taryn Treasure had 2 points each, and Joe Clarkson scored 1.
On Monday night, the FBLA members came to the school and made Valentine's Day cards for veterans. We had done this over the years, every January, for Nancy Platts. The Valentines were put in a contest which won prizes for the most creative cards. Then the members had a pizza party. Each year, our school has an annual health screening for all the K-12 students. Nursing students from Truman came and took the kids' height, weight, blood pressure, looked in their ears and eyes, also had a vision check. In the girls' game against Scotland County, Brashear went scoreless in the first quarter and was limited to 4 free throw points in the second quarter. Scotland led 19-4 in halftime. In the third quarter, Brashear scored 7 points and 7 points in the fourth quarter. Scotland County took the win with a score of 43-18. Shelby Salter had 6 points, Ivy McKim and Sydney Slavin had 4 points each, and Meredith Thomas and Olivia Thompson scored 2 points each.
In the boys' game against Plato, Plato led 32-4 after the first quarter and 50-51 at halftime. Plato came back and scored 27 points in the third quarter and coasted to a 86-33 win. For Brashear, Hayden Hausman scored 8 points, Cody Snelling and Nick Thomas had 7 each. Adam Songer scored 5, Zach Reeves had 4, and Jay Scudder scored 2 points.
On Thursday night, the Lady Tigers dug themselves a deep hole to climb out of in their game against North Shelby. Brashear trailed 17-6 after the first quarter, but bounced back to close the gap 23-18 at halftime. North Shelby spoiled Brashear's hopes for a comeback when they outscored the Lady Tigers 14-3 in the third quarter and then held on in the fourth for a 47-34 win. Meredith Thomas scored 17 points for Brashear, Abby McKim had 8, Stephanie Elsie had 4, Shelby Salter had 3, and Olivia Thompson scored 2 points. Also, on Thursday night, the Brashear boys hoped to avenge a January 4th 80-66 loss to Atlanta. Like the first meeting, this was a back-and-forth game with Brashear leading 9-8 after one quarter and Atlanta leading 19-16 at halftime. Brashear played a strong third quarter and led 32-28 going into the fourth. During the fourth quarter, Atlanta turned to their perimeter game and took the lead on the strength of 4 made three-point shots. Brashear tried to push the pace but couldn't close the gap, and Atlanta held on for a 52-42 win. Nick Thomas scored 13 points for Brashear, Adam Songer and Hayden Hausman had 7 each, Jay Scudder scored 6, Cody Snelling had 5, and Zach Reeves scored 4 points.
Last Friday, the Brashear girls played Atlanta for the 7th and 8th place game. The Brashear girls wasted no time and jumped out to a 16-5 lead after the first quarter and rolled up a 33-13 lead at halftime. Brashear was up 47-17 after 3 quarters and cruised to a 51-18 win. Brashear had 3 players in double figures. Meredith Thomas scored 15 points, Stephanie Elsie and Shelby Salter had 11 each, Abby McKim added 6, Sydney Slavin added 4, and Katie Smith and Olivia Thompson scored 2 points each. Last Friday, the Brashear boys traveled to North Shelby to play North Shelby in the 7th and 8th place game. Brashear boys looked like they had North Shelby on the ropes as the Tigers jumped out to an 11-6 lead after the first quarter. Brashear extended their lead to 16-6, but North Shelby went to the line 14 times compared to Brashear's 0, allowing North Shelby to climb back into the game and take a 20-18 lead into halftime. After the half, Brashear pulled ahead 26-22 and led until North Shelby hit a bucket with 5 seconds left to take a 29-28 lead after 3 quarters. In the fourth, North Shelby went to the line 24 times compared to 6 visits from Brashear. Despite outscoring North Shelby 34-23 from the field, Brashear couldn't overcome the 27-4 free throw advantage and fell to North Shelby 50-38. Adam Songer, Cody Snelling, and Nick Thomas scored 7 points each for Brashear. Hayden Hausman and Jay Scudder had 6 each, Zach Reeves had 3, and Taryn Treasure scored 2 points each.
In Tuesday night's games, Brashear got 2 conference wins over Green City. In the girls' game, Green City jumped out to an 11-3 lead and was up 14-9 after the first quarter. In the second quarter, Brashear battled back, outscoring the Gophers 20-14, and went into the halftime with the lead of 29-28. Brashear was still holding on to the lead of 38-35 at the end of the third quarter. In the last quarter, Brashear knocked down 9 free throws for the win of 51-47. For the Lady Tigers, Stephanie Elsie led in points with 21, Shelby Salter had 16 points, Abby McKim had 7, Meredith Thomas had 3, and Katie Smith and Sydney Slavin both scored 2 points each. In the first quarter of the boys' game, Brashear finished with a slim lead of 19-15. The Tigers in the second quarter outscored Green City 19-11 to take a 38-26 lead at halftime. In the third quarter, the Gophers came within 8, but the Tigers answered back and led 52-40. In the fourth quarter, the Tigers won 65-40. For the Tigers, Adam Songer led in scoring with 21 points. Nick Thomas and Cody Snelling had 12 points each. Hayden Hausman had 7. Jay Scudder had 6, and Joseph Woods scored 2 points.
On Friday was the second Renaissance breakfast of the year. To get on Renaissance, you have to have good grades, a limited number of tardies, no office referrals, and some other things to get onto it. Everyone that is on Renaissance was given the choice to go down to the Killer Building to have biscuits and gravy or juice and milk. Monday, the 31st, was the beginning of the bad winter weather that let us go home at noon and left us out of school for the rest of the week, and also pushed our last day of school from May 18th to May 25th. Due to the bad weather, we missed out on homecoming and the Knox County basketball game.
In Friday night's games, the Tigers traveled to Canton. In the girls' game, Brashear and Canton traded baskets in the first quarter. Both teams had 5 baskets, but the Tigers were all 2-point shots, while Canton had 4 3-point shots, which gave them the lead of 14-10 at the end of the first quarter. The Tigers closed the gap by 1 point at the end of the second quarter and went into halftime with the score 21-20. At the end of the third quarter, the Tigers were still down, but at the end of the third quarter, the score was 25-24. In the fourth quarter, Brashear fell short, and the final score was 42-32. For the Lady Tigers, Stephanie Elsie scored 8 points. Shelby Salter, Meredith Thomas, and Sydney Slavin had 6 points each. Abby McKim had 4, and Olivia Thompson scored 2 points. In the first quarter of the boys' game, Canton started shooting right off the bat, which put them up 8-0. Brashear adjusted and closed within 3 points by mid-quarter, but at the end of the first quarter, Canton had the lead of 22-15. At the end of the second quarter and going into halftime, Canton extended their lead to 41-22. Canton continued their lead in the third quarter and held the Tigers to a pair of free throws while they extended the lead to 56-24. And Canton took the win with the final score of 62-34. For the Tigers, Hayden Hausman scored 6 points, Cody Snelling added 5, Adam Songer, Taryn Treasure, and Jay Scudder had 4 points each. Joseph Woods, Nick Thomas, and Joe Clarkson all had 3 points each, and Zach Reeves scored.
This past week has been our Brashear tournament. Along with the games, we've had other activities. Monday night, during the games, the 16 Little Tiger Cheer Cups went out and performed multiple cheers with the high school cheerleaders. The 82nd annual Brashear tournament got underway Monday night with 4 first-round games. This year's teams include Marion County, Kirksville JV, Brashear, Macon County, Knox County, Atlanta, North Shelby, Novinger, and Canton JV. Both the Brashear Brashear teams played Monday night. The girls played Macon County and the boys played Knox County. The Brashear girls got on the scoreboard first, but Macon County stayed with them every step of the way, with Brashear leading 10-6 after the first quarter and 17-14 at halftime. By the end of the third quarter, Macon County had tied the score 22-22, but Brashear retook the lead in the fourth and held for the win of 34-30. Brashear's Meredith Thomas scored 11 points, Stephanie Elsie, Katie Smith, and Sydney Slavin had 6 points each. Ivy McKim added 3, and Shelby Salter scored 2 points.
On Monday night, the Brashear boys started off the Brashear tournament with playing third-seeded Knox County. The Brashear boys used some hot shooting and pushed the pace to take a 17-12 lead against the Eagles after one quarter and a 33-18 lead at halftime. Brashear maintained their momentum after halftime, extending their lead to 47-25 after 3 quarters. Knox County caught fire in the fourth quarter, scoring 29 points, but Brashear knocked down 7 out of 10 free throws, along with a few timely buckets to stifle Knox County's rally and hold a 60-54 win. For Brashear, Cody Snelling scored 20 points, Nick Thomas added 13, Adam Songer had 8, Zach Reeves had 7, Hayden Hausman and Jay Scudder had 4 each, Taryn Treasure had 3, and Joseph Woods scored 1 point.
In Wednesday's championship semifinals, the Marion County girls advanced with a 64-25 win over Brashear, and the Marion County boys also picked up a 50-37 win over Brashear. In the girls' game, the girls held the state-ranked Marion County Lady Mustangs to a 13-6 lead after 1 quarter of play, but Marion County exploded for 27 points in the second quarter to lead 46 at halftime. Marion County extended their lead to 62-14 after 3 quarters and coasted to a 64-25 win. Shelby Salter scored 13 points for Brashear, Meredith Thomas added 5, Stephanie Elsie had 3, and Miranda Creason and Abby McKim scored 2 points each. In the boys' game, the Marion County boys took an early lead, but Brashear stayed close until a late scoring flurry put the Mustangs up 17-6 at the end of the first quarter. Marion County extended their lead to 31-16 at halftime and led 40-21 after 3 quarters. Brashear made a run in the fourth quarter, pulling within 8, but Marion County held off the late charge and won 50-37. For Brashear, Hayden Hausman scored 13 points, Nick Thomas chipped in 7, Adam Songer had 5, Joseph Woods had 4, and Taryn Treasure, Zach Reeves, Jay Scudder, and Joe Clarkson had 2 points each.
On Monday, NHS sold about 200 Valentines and raised over $550, and was also one of their largest fundraisers. The money that was raised will go to the NHS scholarship and their annual trip to the dinner theater.
On Tuesday night, in between the boys and girls game, we had our annual senior night. All the seniors and their parents were introduced to the crowd and were recognized for their achievements during their high school career. All the seniors of the boys and girls basketball teams were awarded with gifts that the team had put together for them.
On Wednesday night, Brashear held their annual Hoops for Heart event from 3 o'clock to 4:30. The volunteers had a shooting contest, hula hooped, and they also shot around for fun. Highview donated $20 for snack, and they raised $300 for the American Heart Association.
On Saturday, Brashear girls played for third place versus North Shelby. North Shelby jumped out to an 18-9 lead after the first quarter and were up 25-17 at the half. In the third quarter, Brashear was held scoreless, with North Shelby only allowed 2 free throw points to extend their lead to 27-17. Brashear started to close the gap in the fourth quarter and tied the game 31-31 with 2 minutes left. North Shelby quickly answered with a bucket with 4 free throws to extend their lead back to 6 and held on to take third place with a score of 40-32. Shelby Salter led Brashear scoring with 14 points, including 8 in the fourth quarter. Meredith Thomas added 7, Stephanie Elsie had 6, Sydney Slavin had 4, and Olivia Thompson scored 1 point.
In the boys' third place game between Brashear and North Shelby was knotted at 11 after the first quarter before Brashear surged ahead 26-17 at halftime. Brashear maintained a 39-32 lead after 3 quarters and held on to take third place in the Brashear tournament with a win of 56-48. For Brashear, Nick Thomas scored 14 points, Cody Snelling added 13, Hayden Hausman had 11, Adam Songer and Jay Scudder scored 6 each, Taryn Treasure had 4, and Zach Reeves scored 2 points.
On Tuesday night, Brashear got a pair of wins over Buckland. In the girls' game, at the end of the first quarter, the Lady Tigers were up 15-7. In the second quarter, Buckland outscored Brashear 14-10, but the Tigers went into halftime with the lead of 25-21. In the third quarter, Brashear held Buckland to 2 points, while the Tigers extended their lead by adding 22 more points. And at the end of the third, the score was 47-23. In the final quarter, the Lady Tigers extended their lead one more time by adding 20 points, getting the win 67-30. For the Lady Tigers, Stephanie Elsie led in scoring with 23, Meredith Thomas had 16, Abby McKim added 12, Sydney Slavin scored 4, and Katie Smith had 2 points. In the boys' game, Brashear took the lead in the first quarter with the score 17-14. Buckland in the second quarter came within 1 by scoring 8 points and holding Brashear to 9 points, but the Tigers still had the lead into halftime with the score 26-22. In the third quarter, Buckland was still trying to catch up, but at the end, the Tigers had the lead 50-43. In the final quarter, Brashear held Buckland to 7 points, and the Tigers took the win with the score 71-50. For Brashear, Cody Snelling led the scoring with 19, Nick Thomas added 14, Adam Songer scored 12, Hayden Hausman had 10 points, Joseph Woods and Taryn Treasure both had 5 points each, and Nick Bradshaw, Zach Reeves, and Jay Scudder had 2 points each.
Friday the 18th, the FBLA members went to Kirksville Votech for FBLA District Contest. Jay Scudder, Nick Thomas, and Meredith Thomas all qualified for FBLA State for Brashear.
On Wednesday, NHS had their annual inductions for new members. This year's new members were Wendy Clarkson, Shelby Salter, Nick Gordon, Rose Cloud, Sydney DeBee, Olivia Thompson, Hayden Hausman, Caitlin Guffey, and Courtney Moncrief. After all new members were inducted, all the members and their parents went down to the library for cake and punch.
Last Friday, Brashear traveled to Novinger for a pair of conference basketball games. In the girls' game, the Brashear Lady Tigers got off to a quick start, taking an 8-2 lead before Novinger came storming back to take an 11-10 lead at the end of the first quarter. Brashear retook the lead 14-11 in the second quarter, only to see Novinger rally to take a 21-14 lead at halftime. The second half was all Brashear as the Lady Tigers pulled ahead 29-24 after 3 quarters and won 46-34. Sydney Slavin led Brashear scorings with 14 points, Meredith Thomas had 12, Stephanie Elsie had 10, Shelby Salter added 6, and Abby McKim scored 4 points. In the boys' game, the Tigers also enjoyed an early 5-2 lead before Novinger bounced back to a 12-5 at the end of the first quarter. The two teams each scored 16 points in the second to leave Novinger up 28-21 at halftime. Novinger had a big third quarter, extending their lead to 46-27 before Brashear started a comeback in the fourth. The Tigers rallied to shave Novinger's lead 52-40 with 5 minutes left, but Novinger sank 14 free throws in the fourth quarter for their 68-43 homecoming win. Cody Snelling scored 14 points for Brashear. Hayden Hausman added 13. Adam Songer had 7. Jay Scudder had 4. Nick Thomas had 3. And Joseph Woods scored 2 points.
Knox County visited Brashear Saturday afternoon for a pair of makeup games due to earlier bad weather. In the girls' game, both teams played tough defense in the first quarter, with Knox County scoring 9 points and Brashear scoring 4. The Lady Eagles got their scoring on track in the second quarter and extended their lead to 25-8 in the halftime. Brashear almost matched the Lady Eagles bucket for bucket in the third and trailed 39-20 after third quarter, before Knox County cruised to a 54-27 win. For Brashear, Meredith Thomas scored 10 points, Shelby Salter had 6, Abby McKim had 5, Stephanie Elsie had 4, and Cindy Slavin scored 2 points.
In the boys' game, Brashear took the early lead, but Knox County forced numerous turnovers to take a 14-11 lead after one quarter and a 43-24 lead at halftime. Knox County maintained their lead in the second half and won 72-52. For Brashear, Taryn Treasure had 12 points, Zach Reeves had 10, Hayden Hausman had 9, Joseph Woods and Jay Scudder scored 6 each, Nick Thomas had 5, and Adam Songer and Joe Clarkson had 2 points each.
On Tuesday night, the Brashear Tigers traveled to Marion County. For at least a short while, the Brashear Lady Tigers managed to avoid the inevitable as they trailed Marion County by only 10-4 midway through the first quarter. The Lady Tigers showed why they are ranked 4th in state from that point on, exploding out to a 29-6 lead after one quarter. Marion County extended the lead to 50-10 at the half and 63-18 after 3 quarters, on their way to a 69-19 win. Meredith Thomas scored 11 points for Brashear, Stephanie Elsie added 5, Shelby Salter had 2, and Sydney Slavin scored 1 point. The boys' game was a defensive battle early, with Marion County holding a 10-4 lead after one quarter and an 18-12 lead at halftime. While Brashear was successful in denying Marion County's offense in the first half, the Tigers were turned over time after time by Marion County's press, leading to few scoring opportunities for Brashear. After the half, Marion County kept up the defensive pressure, forcing more Brashear turnovers. They also started getting some open looks and took a 34-13 lead after 3 quarters, holding Brashear to a single free throw. Brashear broke their scoring drought in the fourth but couldn't close the gap, and Marion County won by a final score of 51-27. For Brashear, Hayden Hausman scored 7 points, Joe Clarkson had 6, Nick Thomas had 5, Jay Scudder had 4, Joseph Woods and Jeremy Barnes had 2 each, and Zach Reeves scored 1 point.
Last Thursday, Jay Scudder has been named a finalist for the National Merit Scholarship. To become a National Merit finalist is extensive. As a junior in high school, students take a PSAT test. 50,000 students nationwide qualify as quarterfinalists based on PSAT scores. From 50,000 quarterfinalists, 16,000 are selected as semifinalists and must then take an SAT. Finalists are then named, and the 8,400 Merit Scholarship winners will be notified in March. Jay is the first National Merit finalist at Brashear.
Last week was makeup for homecoming week. K through 6 went up against each other to see who could win an ice cream party, and so did 7 through 12 and the staff. All they had to do was dress up with the theme for each day, win some of the morning games, and find some of the red, blue, or white chips in cupcakes that the cheerleaders brought for Tuesday and Thursday. Also, Thursday afternoon, there was a pep rally for all the students, and the cheerleaders read off all the points for each class, and the winners of the ice cream parties were 3rd grade and 8th grade, and the parties were on Monday. Also, due to more bad weather, the homecoming game had to be rescheduled.
Brashear Lady Tigers traveled to Madison Saturday for the first round of district tournament. The Lady Tigers faced number 3 seed Madison. Madison took a 14-7 lead after one quarter and slowly increased their lead to 23-12 by halftime. At the end of the third quarter, the Lady Tigers were down 37-20, but never gave up, outscoring Madison 16-14 in the final quarter. Madison advanced to the semifinal round with the win 53-34. Brashear was led by Stephanie Elsie with 10 points, Meredith Thomas had 9, Abby McKim had 6, Shelby Salter had 5, and Sydney Slevin scored 4 points.
The Brashear boys traveled to Madison Monday night to also face the 3rd seed Madison boys. The Tigers got on the board first and established a 13-10 lead after the first quarter. By halftime, Brashear extended their lead to 25-18 and led 38-23 after 3 quarters. Madison mounted a furious comeback in the 4th quarter, pulling within 5 points before Brashear put the game away 56-43 to advance to Wednesday night's semifinals. Brashear was led by Cody Snelling with 26 points, Jay Scudder had 10 points, Hayden Hausman had 7, Adam Songer had 6, Nick Thomas had 3, and Joseph Woods and Taryn Treasure scored 2 points each.
The Brashear Tigers and Marion County Mustangs met for the 4th time this season, Wednesday night in the Madison District semifinal. Marion County got on the scoreboard first, but Brashear quickly answered with a bucket at the other end. As the first quarter progressed, Marion County built a 17-7 lead. Brashear closed the gap within 8 by halftime, with Marion County holding a 24-16 lead. Brashear couldn't generate enough offense in the 3rd quarter and were held to only 3 points. Marion County pushed their lead to 35-19 after the 3rd quarter, before a wild 4th quarter where Marion County scored almost 40% of their points of the game, and Brashear scored almost half their points. Marion County took the contest by a final score of 56-35 to advance and face La Plata for the district finals. Joe Clarkson came off the bench, scoring 9 4th-quarter points to lead Brashear. Nick Thomas added 7, Hayden Hausman had 6, Taryn Treasure had 4, Cody Snelling had 3, Joseph Woods and Jay Scudder scored 2, and Adam Songer and Zach Reeves scored 1.
Last Monday was our homecoming game along with other homecoming things. Homecoming had been postponed twice for bad weather. Homecoming was originally scheduled for February 4th. We played Macon County and both girls and boys won the homecoming games. In between games, the homecoming coordination took place. Christopher Longano and Mary Coy won King and Queen, and Curtis Blakely and Ashley Moncrief won Prince and Princess. At halftime of the boys' game, the cheerleaders performed their dance that they have been practicing forever.
Last Tuesday was a tornado drill for the whole school. All the classes had to go to the bathrooms, locker rooms, or the PAT room for the drill. Every year, different times out of the year, we have different drills going on. All the drills that happen during the year are fire, tornado, intruder, and sometimes earthquake drills. Every classroom has instructions on what to do and where to go if a drill happens or if it's a real one.
Congratulations to the Brashear band. Rose Cloud first, chair flute. Sydney Sykes, 4th chair flute. Abby Hall, 3rd chair clarinet. Madeline Potter, 4th clarinet. Allie Garrett, 5th chair clarinet. Courtney Arnold, 8th chair clarinet. Ashley Fortney, 3rd chair alto saxophone. Jay Scudder, 1st chair alto saxophone. Bailey Malovich, 7th chair alto saxophone. Chloe Sykes, 8th chair alto saxophone. Blake Flum, 3rd chair trombone. Abigail Kirby, 4th chair trombone. Christopher Longano, 1st chair tuba. We're proud of you. Way to go, Tigers.
Both Tiger teams ended their season on winning notes. Monday night, March 7th at Brashear. Both the Macon County Lady Raiders and the Brashear Lady Tigers came into Monday night's game with identical 6-1 Tri-County Conference records. One of them would emerge with a conference championship. Both teams applied lots of defense pressure early, and Brashear held a slim lead of 6-4 after one quarter. The Lady Tigers broke the game open in the second, outscoring Macon County 11-5 to take a 17-9 halftime lead. The Lady Tigers opened their lead to 31-17 after 3 quarters and clinched the Tri-County Conference title with a 39-24 win. Abby McKim scored 9 points for Brashear. Stephanie Elsie and Meredith Thomas had 8 each. Katie Smith and Sydney Slavin had 4 each. And Shelby Salter, Miranda Creason, and Olivia Thompson scored 2 points each. In the boys' game, Brashear jumped out to an early lead as misfortune struck Macon County. Starter Alex Porter exited the game less than halfway through the first quarter with an ankle injury, bringing Macon County's only bench player into the game. The Tigers led 25-11 after one quarter and 36-28 at halftime. The Tigers expanded their lead to 53-32 after 3 quarters on their way to a 68-49 win. For Brashear, Joe Clarkson scored 14 points. Adam Songer and Hayden Hausman had 12 each. Zach Reese and Jay Scudder scored 2 each. Taryn Treasure had 7. Nick Thomas had 3. And Joseph Woods, Cody Snelling scored 2 points each.
On March 8th, the junior high and high school academic bowl teams traveled to Atlanta for the first meet. The junior high team faced Brevier, losing 320-300. They went on and faced Atlanta and had the big win, 360-160. The high school teams met and faced Brevier, winning 300-110, and faced Atlanta to also win with a score of 360-90.
The junior high and varsity track members have been practicing hard for about 3 weeks. All the junior high and varsity members have been working hard to try to get everybody in the events that they will be doing for the first track meet. The first junior high track meet will be on March 30th at Atlanta, and the varsity first track meet will be March 31st at Kirksville.
The last couple of weeks, the academic bowl teams have been working really hard. Last week, they had a meet at Brashear, and they played Buckland and Macon County. The junior high and high school teams both left with wins. The junior high won with scores of 340-150 against Buckland and a score of 370-160 against Macon County. This week, they had meets at both Green City and Novinger. The junior high didn't first so good at Green City, but the high school came out ahead Monday night. For the junior high, they lost 150-260 against Linn County and lost to Green City with a score of 260-300. The high school team won both games by a score of 270-90 against Linn County and a score of 240-110 against Green City. Both the teams came home with wins from Novinger on Wednesday night. The junior high won against Novinger with a score of 360 to 270, and won against La Plata with a score of 370 to 230. The high school continued their winning streak with a win over Novinger by 330 to 100 and over La Plata with a score of 210 to 60. Now the junior high is headed into conference with a record of 5-3, and the junior high is headed in with a conference of 8-0. Conference tournament is being held at Brashear on Saturday, April the 2nd.
On Tuesday, Brashear kicked off their season. Brashear's baseball season didn't look very promising, with North Shelby sending the first pitch of the season over the right field fence, followed by 2 more runs, taking the Raiders to a 3-0 lead after the first inning. Things didn't turn out to be all that bad for Brashear, as they answered with 3 runs in the bottom of the first. After holding North Shelby scoreless in the top of the second, Brashear got on the scoreboard for another 5 runs, including a 3-run homer from Cody Snelling. Jay Scudder added a 3-run blast in the Tigers' fourth as Brashear rolled into a 5-inning 16-6 win. Hayden Hausman and Jay Scudder drove in 4 runs each, with Cody Snelling picking up 3 RBIs. Hausman, Snelling, and Curtis Blakely each had 3 hits for Brashear, with Adam Songer and Nick Bradshaw also having hits. Hayden Coyne got the start for Brashear, going 4 innings and giving up 2 earned runs on 5 hits and striking out 6. Cody Snelling pitched an inning of relief, surrendering 1 hit and striking out 2.
Congratulations to the Brashear Band for the first superior rating at MSHSAA State Large Ensemble Festival in Brashear history.
On Monday afternoon, the 5th graders had their annual DARE graduation. The kids learned how drugs and alcohol are not cool to use and to say no. They also learned the DARE dance for the graduation. All the 5th graders had to write essays talking about what they learned over the class. There were 22 5th graders that graduated from the program. After the graduation, all the students and parents celebrated with cake and punch at the reception.
The Academic Bowl teams just wrapped up their season. Varsity team Jay Scudder, Sydney Slavin, Nick Thomas, Ashton Walter, Caitlin Guffey, Jeremy Barnes, Blake Blum, Nicholas Gordon, and David Walker were undefeated conference champs for 5 years in a row. As for the junior high, Gabe Thomas, Allie Garrett, Tyler Finley, Sam Smith, and Dakota Williams were 5th in conference, ending with a 4-4 record.
On Wednesday night, the Brashear Tigers faced Knox County Eagles. In the bottom of the first, the Eagles were up by 2. The Tigers tied it up in the bottom of the second. In the fourth, the Eagles were up by 1 to have a 5-4 lead. In the 5th inning, Knox County pulled ahead again, but the Tigers tied it up at 6-6. The Tigers got a pair of runs in the 6th to take a lead and to take the win 8-6 in the 7th. For the Tigers, Hayden Coyne had back-to-back home runs, with Nick Thomas and Nick Bradshaw also having a home run. Cody Snelling and Jay Scudder had 2 hits each, and Adam Songer, Hayden Hausman, and Curtis Blakely having a hit. Hayden Coyne pitched for Brashear and got the win, with Cody Snelling pitching an inning of relief. The Tigers now are 2-0. The Tigers will face tough tests next week with the first road games when they travel to play Novinger and Canton. Friday afternoon, the Livewire demo came to our school to educate us on safety tips around electrical wires. He told us when hitting a power pole to just stay in your car no matter what until they shut down the electricity.
Last Thursday evening, Linn County traveled to Brashear to play some baseball. The Tigers allowed some sloppy defense to put them behind 2-0 after the first half inning. Things turned around in the bottom of the frame as Adam Songer drew a walk and Cody Snelling homered to even the score at 2-all. Linn County would retake a 4-2 lead in the second before Brashear exploded for 6 runs in the bottom of the third and never looked back. Curtis Blakely got things going for Brashear in the third as he was hit by a pitch. Adam Songer doubled, Nick Bradshaw reached on an error, then Cody Snelling brought in Blakely with a sac fly. Nick Thomas drew a walk, then Jay Scudder hit a ball that eluded the second baseman, driving in Songer and Bradshaw. Hayden Hausman was up next and took one out for a 3-run homer to put Brashear up 8-4. Blakely got things going again in the fourth with a leadoff walk. Adam Songer singled, then Cody Snelling blasted a 3-run homer to put Brashear up 11-4. The Tigers added another run in the fifth as Luke Morrow singled and Nick Bradshaw drove him home. The final score was 12-5. Cody Snelling had a pair of homers and 6 RBIs, with Hayden Hausman adding another dinger for Brashear. Adam Songer had 2 hits, and Nick Bradshaw, Jay Scudder, Hayden Hausman, and Luke Morrow also had hits. Snelling picked up the win for Brashear, striking out 11 in 6 innings. Adam Songer pitched 1 inning of relief.
Last Thursday, the track team traveled to Kurtzville for the Kurtzville Varsity Quad Meet. On Tuesday, the track team traveled to La Plata Varsity Quad, with the boys placing 6th and the girls placing 2nd. Daniel Anderson took 3rd place in the 100-meter dash, almost breaking the school's record last Thursday. At La Plata's track meet on Tuesday, Anderson placed 2nd and breaking our school's record with 11.31 seconds. Last Saturday, Brashear hosted the Academic Bowl Conference. Both junior high and varsity teams won first place. The varsity team completed a perfect 8-0 regular season to get conference champs. In the tournament, the varsity team got 4 straight wins to get the first place spot in the tournament. The JV was bumped into the losers bracket but fought back to win the tournament. Jay Scudder and Sam Smith got MVP on the all-conference team, and Allie Garrett also got on the team too.
Tuesday night, the host Canton Tigers wasted no time, scoring 3 runs in the bottom of the first. Canton added another pair of runs in the third. Meanwhile, Brashear struggled at the plate without a hit until the 6th inning, except for a Nick Bradshaw single in the first. In the bottom of the 6th, Bradshaw was the leadoff hitter and was struck by a pitch. Cody Snelling followed with a single through the left side of the field. Then Jay Scudder shot a single up the middle to score Bradshaw with Brashear's only run. Canton came back in the bottom of the 6th with 5 more runs to end the game early, 11-1. Hayden Coyne took the loss for Brashear, striking out 6 and giving up 9 hits in 4 innings of work. Cody Snelling struck out 2 in relief and giving up 2 hits.
Last Saturday, the Brashear Academic Bowl team traveled to Macon County for district play. In the first game, they squared off against Macon County and took the game 340-90. In the second pool game, they played Buckland and won 310 to 230. In the championship bracket, they again faced Macon County and came away with the win 440 to 100 and beat Buckland in the championship game 340 to 150. Jay Scudder was named district MVP, and Nick Thomas was also chosen for the all-district team.
The Tigers went on the road Monday night. Brashear started out slowly, claiming a 1-0 lead over Green City in the first inning. The Tigers struck again in the third for 4 runs, and in the fourth for 2 runs before pulling the game away with 14 runs in the fifth to take a 21-1 win. Cody Snelling and Hayden Coyne homered for Brashear, with Snelling having 4 RBIs. Jay Scudder had a pair of doubles and a single, driving in 3 runs. Nick Thomas, Coyne, and Luke Morrow had 2 hits each, and Adam Songer, Nick Bradshaw, Hayden Hausman, Curtis Blakely, Nicholas Gordon, David Walker all had hits. Hayden Coyne picked up the win for Brashear, scattering 3 hits and striking out 11. Brashear took the JV game 5-1.
On Tuesday night, Brashear traveled to North Shelby. The game started out with 1-2-3 first inning for both teams. Brashear got on the scoreboard in the top of the second as Hayden Coyne tripled, and Jay Scudder brought him in with a fly ball to center for a 1-0 lead. The Tigers scored another pair in the fourth and 6 more runs in the sixth, including a 3-run homer by Hayden Coyne and a 2 RBI single by Nick Bradshaw. Brashear won by a final margin of 9-3. For Brashear, Coyne had a home run and a triple, Adam Songer doubled, Hayden Hausman had 2 hits, and Cody Snelling had a hit. Cody Snelling got the win, starting for Brashear with Adam Songer and Nick Thomas pitching in relief.
On Monday, the track team went down to Atlanta for the Atlanta Relays. In the 100-meter dash, Skylar Hausman placed third. The 4x2 and the medley relays both got second place. The 1600-meter, Sydney Sykes placed second. Skylar Hausman placed second in the 200-meter dash. In the girls' field events, Skylar Hausman placed first in long jump. Allison Thompson got second in triple jump. Kylie Williams placed third in discus, and in shot put, Mandy Taylor placed second. On the boys' side, Chance Hill placed 8th in the 1600 meter and got third in triple jump. Gabe Thomas placed 7th in shot put.
On Wednesday, it was the varsity's turn to head to Atlanta for a track meet, where the girls took 3rd overall. Nicole Wagster took 4th in the long jump. Alexa Acton took 5th in the triple jump. The 3,200-meter relay team took 3rd. Stephanie Elsie took 3rd, and Ashley Moncrief took 6th in the 100-meter hurdles. Nicole Wagster took 2nd in the 1,600-meter run. We took 7th in the 400-meter relay. Ashley Moncrief took 5th in the 400-meter dash. Stephanie Elsie took 3rd, and Chloe Sykes took 5th in the 800-meter run. Shandy March took 8th in the 200-meter dash. Chloe Sykes took 2nd in the 3,200-meter run. And we took 4th in the 1,600-meter relay. The boys' team took 4th overall, with Hayden Hausman taking 3rd in the triple jump, Jay Scudder taking 3rd in the discus, Jay Scudder taking 5th in the shot put, Nick Thomas taking 5th in the 110-meter hurdles. Daniel Anderson took 4th in the 100-meter dash. The 800-meter relay team took 3rd. The 400-meter relay team took 2nd. Joseph Woods took 2nd, and Hayden Hausman took 4th in the 400-meter dash. Nick Thomas took 2nd in the 800-meter run. Daniel Anderson took 5th in the 200-meter dash. And the 1,600-meter relay team took 5th.
On Friday, April 15th, we had 11 go to Mobley. We took 18 projects in all, and 17 out of the 18 got blue ribbons. Those overall winners were Gus Mahalovich, Abby Kirby, Abby Hall, William Coy, David Walker. They will complete at state at Lake of the Ozarks on May 6th.
On Thursday, April 14th, the high school academic bowl team traveled to North Shelby for sectional academic bowl. North Shelby took Game 1 with a score of 420 to 250 and took Game 2 with a score of 480 to 110. The academic bowl team finished 12-0 in conference and 16-2 overall.
The Tigers pick up a 4-3 win at home. Brashear got on the scoreboard first last Monday night as Cody Snelling reached on an error in the bottom of the first and Hayden Coyne doubled him home. The Tigers added another run in the second on a Nick Gordon solo home run. Brashear added single runs in the third and fourth inning as well. Marion County got on the scoreboard in the fourth on a Stratton home run, then added 2 more in the top of the sixth, but it wasn't enough as Brashear won 4-3. Nick Gordon had a home run for Brashear, Hayden Coyne had 2 hits, and Adam Sunger had 1 hit. Hayden Coyne went the distance for Brashear for the win, allowing only 3 hits while striking out 14.
On Monday, the 18th, the varsity track teams went to Kurtzville for the Tiger Invitational. For the girls' team, the 4x4 and the 4x1 got 4th place. Also, Chloe Sykes placed 4th in the 2-mile. The 4x8 placed 3rd. In the triple jump, Nicole Wagster placed 6th. Alexa Acton got 6th place in triple jump. The 4x2 also placed 6th. On the boys' side, Daniel Anderson placed 3rd in both the 100-meter dash and the 200-meter dash. Joseph Woods got 4th in the 400-meter dash. The 4x2 placed 7th and the 4x1 placed 6th.
On Wednesday, our track teams competed in the Tri-County Conference track meet held at La Plata. Our varsity girls took 2nd, varsity boys took 3rd, junior high girls placed 2nd, and our junior high boys placed 8th. For the varsity, Cynthia Anderson took 4th in the 200 and 3rd in the 100. Shandy March took 7th in the 200. Chloe Sykes took 4th in the 800, 1st in the 3200. Stephanie Elsie had 6th in the 800 and 3rd in the 100-meter hurdles. Ashley Fortney took 2nd in the 1600. Nicole Wagster had 3rd in the 1600 and 8th in long jump. Nikki Moncrief was 4th in the 100 hurdles. Ashley Moncrief was 4th in the 300-meter hurdles. The girls' 4x100 team took 5th, the 4x200 team took 2nd, the 4x400 team took 2nd, and the 4x800 team took 3rd. Meredith Thomas was 2nd in the triple jump. Alexa Acton was 3rd in the triple jump. Katie Watson was 8th in the discus. Daniel Anderson took 2nd in the 100-meter dash and 2nd in the 200-meter dash. Joseph Woods was 1st in the 400. Hayden Hausman was 3rd in the 400 and 3rd in the triple jump. Nick Thomas was 3rd in the 800-meter and 6th in the 110-meter hurdles. The boys' 4x100 team was 2nd. The 4x200 team took 3rd. The 4x400 team took 3rd. Gus Mihalovich was 8th in shot put, and Jay Scudder took 4th in shot and 1st in discus. For the junior high, the girls' 4x400 relay team took 3rd. Allison Thomason finished 5th in the 800, 6th in the 75-meter hurdles, and 1st in triple jump. Bailey Mihalovich was 6th in the 800. Sydney Sykes was 5th in the 1600. Mandy Taylor was 4th in the 75-meter hurdles and 2nd in shot put. The girls' 4x100 team was 2nd. The 4x200 team was 2nd. Abby Kirby was 7th in high jump. Skylar Hausman was 1st in long jump. Allie Garrett was 4th in discus. Kylie Williams was 6th in discus. Tyler Findling was 7th in the 100-meter dash. Chance Hill was 4th in triple jump. And Gabe Thomas was 7th in discus. Saturday night, a large crowd of family, friends, and well-wishers gathered at the Brashear Gymnasium for the 2011 Grand March. Each member of the junior and senior class and their escorts were introduced as they emerged from the castle door and proceeded across the bridge. At the end, new prom king Jordan Berry and queen Courtney Moncrief were announced and crowned by last year's king and queen Daniel Smith and Daisy Ledford. Later that evening, the juniors and seniors held prom at the Down Under at Truman State University before returning to Brashear for after prom. Last Sunday, Brashear senior Jay Scudder was in Columbia, Missouri to receive an award from the Missouri Association of Secondary School Principals. Jay was named one of the 2011 Top 100 Scholars in the state of Missouri. Congratulations, Jay.
On Monday night, Brashear High School held their annual awards banquet after a carry-in supper, and the awards were given to the junior high basketball, varsity basketball, academic bowl, baseball, track, and softball.
Last Thursday, Brashear and Revere both struggled offensively in the early going until the Tigers put up a pair of runs in the top of the third, just to have Revere answer with a pair of their own in the bottom of the third. Brashear blew the game open with a 7-run fifth inning, which included an Adam Songer grand slam. Revere answered with 3 in the bottom of the frame, but Brashear tackled another 5 in the 6th to coast to a 14-5 win. Adam Songer home run for Brashear with 4 RBIs on the night. Nick Thomas and Hayden Hausman each had 3 RBIs, with Nick Bradshaw, Cody Snelling, Hayden Coyne, and Jay Scudder also having hits. Nick Thomas got the win for Brashear, striking out 4 in 5 innings of work. Jay Scudder pitched 2 innings of relief, striking out 2.
Last Friday night, Novinger Wildcats traveled to Brashear for a varsity doubleheader. In the first game, the Tigers exploded for 12 first-inning runs and a 22-1 5-inning romp over Novinger. Adam Songer, Cody Snelling, and Hayden Hausman all homered for Brashear, and Jay Scudder collected 2 hits. Cody Snelling got the win for Brashear, striking out 9. In the second game, Novinger was the home team. The Wildcats took a 1-0 lead in the bottom of the first, but Brashear evened the score in the top of the second on a Jay Scudder solo home run. Novinger quickly retook the lead with another 4 runs in the bottom of the second. Brashear tied the game again at 6-6 in the top of the 5th inning, but Novinger scored 8 runs, 6 of which came after 2 outs in the bottom of the 5th, to win by a final score of 18-8. For Brashear, Nick Thomas, Hayden Hausman, and Jay Scudder all homered.
Tuesday night, the La Plata Bulldogs baseball team visited Brashear. La Plata jumped on the scoreboard for 4 runs in the first inning and scored every inning of the 5-inning contest. The big blow came in the third when La Plata scored 9 runs. Brashear put 2 runners aboard in the first with 2 outs, but were unable to score. Brashear's only other base runners came in the 4th and 5th innings as La Plata rolled to a 19-0 win. Cody Snelling had Brashear's only hits with a pair of singles. Snelling took the loss for Brashear with Adam Songer and Nick Thomas pitching in relief. After the game, senior night ceremonies were held to honor Brashear's 4 seniors, Adam Songer, Cody Snelling, Jay Scudder, and Hayden Coyne.
On Wednesday, the varsity and junior high track teams traveled to Marceline for the Linn County Relays. The varsity girls took 4th place, the varsity boys took 5th, junior high girls took 2nd, and the junior high boys took 12th. In the 100-meter hurdles, Stephanie Elsie took 2nd, and Nikki Moncrief took 3rd. Brashear also got 2nd place in the 4x2. On the varsity boys side, Jay Scudder took 1st in discus and 3rd in shot put. Joseph Woods got 1st in the 400-meter dash. Also, Daniel Anderson took 3rd place in the 200-meter dash. For the junior high girls, Skylar Hausman got 3rd in long jump and 2nd in the 100-meter dash. Allison Thompson got 2nd in triple jump. Mandy Taylor placed 3rd in shot put. The 4x4 placed 2nd. Abby Kirby placed 3rd in the 400-meter dash. Also, Brashear got 3rd in the medley relay. For the junior high boys, Chance Hill placed 8th in triple jump.
On Friday, 5 students went to the state shop contest at Lake of the Ozarks with their projects. They all scored 91 to 97% on their projects for fun after they played mini golf and rode go-karts.
Yesterday, the 11th, the NHS group went to Overland Park, Kansas to watch a play and dine. They watched The Odd Couple starring George Wendt.
The Tigers get a win over the Midgets last Friday night. Brashear turned a leadoff walk and some aggressive base running into a first inning 1-0 lead. Putnam tied the game at a 1-1 in the bottom of the third. The Tigers retook the lead with a run in the top of the fourth and added a pair of insurance runs in the top of the seventh for a 4-1 win. Nick Thomas, Jay Scudder, and Hayden Hausman had hits for Brashear. Hayden Coyne went the distance on the mound for Brashear, scattering 4 hits and striking out 11.
Last Saturday was districts for track down at La Plata. The varsity girls ended up with 9th place, and the boys got 6th place. Meredith Thomas placed 7th in the triple jump and the 400-meter dash. The girls' 4x8 team got 5th. In the 100-meter hurdles, Stephanie Elsie got 5th and Nikki Moncrief got 7th. The 4x2 team placed 5th. Chloe Sykes placed 6th in the 2-mile. Also, Ashley Fortney placed 7th in the mile. On the boys' side, the 4x1 placed 4th. Daniel Anderson got 1st in the 100-meter and 3rd in the 200-meter. Joseph Woods placed 3rd in the 400-meter dash. Jay Scudder got 6th in disc and 7th in shot put. Also, Daniel Anderson, Joseph Woods, Marcus Jefferson, and Hayden Hausman qualified for sectionals on Saturday, May 14th.
Monday night's game with Atlanta was scheduled to be played at Brashear, but wet field conditions caused it to move to Atlanta's field, with Brashear still playing as the home team. Some sloppy defense work by Brashear allowed Atlanta to take a 1-0 lead in the top of the first. Then Atlanta posted 4 runs in the top of the third on a grand slam to extend their lead to a 5-0. Adam Songer got Brashear on the scoreboard in the bottom of the third with a 2-run homer. Atlanta scored again in the top of the fourth, but Brashear pushed across 5 in the bottom of the fourth, including a Hayden Hausman grand slam to take a 7-6 lead. Atlanta answered with a run in the 5th and 3 in the 6th, giving them a 10-8 lead going into the bottom of the 7th. Brashear loaded the bases, pushing across 2 runs to tie the game before Hayden Hausman struck again with his second grand slam of the night to give Brashear 14-10 walk-off win. Adam Songer, Cody Snelling, Nick Thomas, Hayden Coyne, Jay Scudder, and Hayden Hausman had hits for Brashear. Cody Snelling got the start for Brashear, going 5 innings, with Nick Thomas pitching the last 2 innings in relief.
The host Rams come out on top Tuesday night. Things look good for Brashear as Hayden Coyne blasted a home run to give the Tigers a 3-0 lead in the top of the first. The Rams came storming back in the bottom of the first, turning 3 hits and an error into 3 runs to tie the game. Brashear scored to lead 4-3 in the top of the second, but Schuyler County exploded for 5 runs in the second and 6 runs in the third, on their way to a 29 win. Hayden Coyne and Cody Snelling homered for the Brashear, with Nick Bradshaw and Hayden Hausman also having hits. Hayden Coyne got the start for Brashear, surrendering 10 hits while striking out 5 in 2-1 innings. Adam Songer pitched 2 innings and Jay Scudder pitched 1 inning to relieve, giving up 1 hit and striking out 3.
On Thursday, Brashear held their annual spring concert and art show. The concert had many songs played by the high school band and elementary band, and members of the chorus sang songs too. After the concert, everyone that was at the concert went down to the cafeteria to look at all the artwork and shop projects too. Also, they had punch and cookies.
Monday during 6th and 7th hour, we held an all-school variety show. Faculty along with students put on various acts.
On Wednesday, we held our annual awards assembly. All the high school students gave awards for the top students and most improved students, along with other little awards too. Also, Jay Scudder received an award for one of the top 100 students in the state.
Congratulations to Daniel Anderson for finishing first in the 100-meter dash and fourth in the 200-meter dash. Congratulations to Gus Malovich, Hayden Hausman, Justin Woods, and Daniel Anderson for finishing fourth in the 4x1 relay. They advanced to the state track meet held in Jefferson City this Friday and Saturday. We are very proud of you.
The Brashear Tigers came into districts as the number 3 seed facing number 6 seed North Shore. Both teams got runners aboard in the early innings, but neither team scored until the bottom of the third. Luke Morrow got things started for Brashear with a single. Adam Songer and Nick Bradshaw reached on errors to load the bases. Cody Snelling singled, bringing in Morrow and Songer. Hayden Coyne hit a sac fly, scoring Bradshaw. Hayden Hausman reached on an error. Jay Scudder doubled, and Joe Clarkson singled to give Brashear a 6-0 lead. Brashear would score 2 more in the 5th and 2 more in the 6th to end the game early by a score of 10-0. For Brashear, Hayden Coyne tripled, Hayden Hausman and Jay Scudder doubled, and Adam Songer, Nick Bradshaw, Cody Snelling, Joe Scudder, and Luke Morrow had hits. Snelling and Scudder drove in 2 runs each, with Bradshaw, Coyne, Hausman, and Clarkson having RBIs. Hayden Coyne got the start and picked up the win for Brashear, going 5 innings while striking out 8 and allowing only 1 hit. Nick Thomas pitched 1 inning of relief. The Brashear Tigers played Canton in the district semifinals game. Brashear got on the scoreboard first in the 2nd as Hayden Coyne hit a lead-off double. Hayden Hausman reached on an error, and an errant throw to second base as Hausman was stealing allowed Coyne to come home. That was Brashear's only lead as Canton answered with 4 runs in the bottom of the 2nd, then tacked on another in the 3rd, 4 in the 4th, and 2 in the 5th to win 11-1. Cody Snelling had a triple and a single for Brashear, with Hayden Coyne having a double. Cody Snelling got the start and went 3 innings for Brashear, with Hayden Coyne pitching 2 innings in relief.
Last Wednesday was the seniors' last day, which started with a high school award assembly. Then the seniors were allowed to check out after rehearsing for graduation. For the senior trip, the seniors traveled to Chicago, where they ate at Jordan's and ate Chicago pizza. They also took a tour of Millennium Park and Grant Park. Then they traveled to Shedd Aquarium, then a sightseeing bus tour of the city. Then ended the day at the Sky Deck.
Last Friday afternoon, the kindergarten class held their annual kindergarten circus. All the kids in the class dressed up like little clowns, lions, strongmen, dancers, and many more. All the elementary and high school students went up to the high school gym to watch. Even some of the seniors came back to join in the fun. After the circus was over, all the kindergarten parents went back to the classroom to help their kids out of their costumes.
Last Sunday afternoon, Brashear held their annual graduation ceremony for the 21 members of the class of 2011. New Superintendent Shelley Shipman was the guest speaker. After she spoke, the students received their diplomas and scholarships. Jay Scudder was awarded valedictorian and Sydney Slavin was awarded salutatorian. Last Friday and Saturday, members of the varsity track team traveled to Jefferson City for the state track meet. Daniel Anderson was headed to state after placing in sectionals in the 100 and 200 meter dash. Hayden Hausman, Joseph Woods, Daniel Anderson, and Gus Marhalovich were also headed to state after placing in sectionals in the 4x100 meter relay. At state, Daniel Anderson won his heat for the 100 meter dash on Friday afternoon and proceeded to finals on Saturday. On Saturday, he placed second in the 100 meter dash. Daniel also placed 12th in the 200 meter dash. The 4x100 meter relay team placed 15th in their finals.